As welcome to my beloved lecture. We are from Group 7. We would like to present about retirement planning case study. These are our group members. My name is Sidi Rizman and we have Muhammad Hakim Ashraf, Shaza Shadina and Nur Ilman Fahmi. Assess their financial profile including income, savings, expenses and retirement expectations. First we have young professionals which is 30 years old. Financial profile yearly career professional with high future earning potential and a high risk tolerance due to a long investment horizon. Income earns RM4,500 per month with opportunities for salary, growth and bonus. Savings has RM50,000 in EPF and personal savings and save approximately RM1,700 monthly. Expenses spend around RM2,800 per month on living and personal expenses. Retirement expectation plans to retire at 60 and aims for a comfortable retirement through long-term investment growth. Then we have middle-aged individual, which is age 50, 45. Financial profile established career with stable income but significant family and financial commitment. Income earns RM8,500 per month. Saving has accumulated RM250,000 in EPF, unit trust and fixed deposit. Expenses spend approximately RM6,000 per month on household, loans, education and insurance. Retirement expectation plans to retire at 60 while maintaining his current lifestyle and covering future healthcare costs. Last but not least, we have pre-retire which is age 60. Financial profile financially stable and focus on persevering well before retirement. Income earns 10 10,000 ringgit per month. Savings has approximately 90,000 in retirement assets. Expenses spend around 5,500 per month, mainly on healthcare, household and leisure. Retirement expectation retires at 60 and seeks a stable retirement income through low risk, income generating investment.
Now we move to section 2.0 require retirement fund using two different methods. Capital liquidation and capital conservation. First is capital liquidation. The retirement fund is designed to be fully used up over the retirement period. We apply the unity dual formula since withdrawals start at the beginning of each year. For the young professional, the required fund is about RM1.07 million. For the middle-aged individual, it is RM1.47 million. And for the pre-retired, it is RM864,000. The key point here is that the capital gradually decreases and reach zero at the end of retirement. So next is the capital conservation. The capital conservation means only the investment returns are withdrawn each year, while the principal is preserved indefinitely. By using the formula, which is the PV equal to A divided by R for ordinary annuity and the PV equal to A open bracket 1 plus R close bracket divided by R. For the unity dual, the required lump sums are much larger. For the young professional, about the RM1.71 million. For the middle-aged individual, RM2.36 million. And for the pre-retire, RM1.39 million. Here the capital remain intact but the cost of entry is higher. So in conclusion, the capital liquidation requires smaller lump sums but depletes time, while capital conservation requires larger lump sums but preserved indefinitely.
So, for analyze risk challenges such as inflation, medical costs, and longevity risk, for young professionals, there are two main risks. The first is inflation risk. As the cost of living continues to increase, more money will be needed in the future to maintain the same lifestyle. Therefore, retirement saving must grow faster than inflation. The second is investment risk. Since a young professional have long investment period, they can invest in higher assets for potential higher return. However, market fluctuation may reduce the value of their investment, so it is important to invest wisely and consistently. So for the middle-aged individual, for the middle age, the first challenge is financial and medical cost risk. At this stage, they usually have many financial commitments such as mortgage payment, education, and insurance. At the same time, healthcare expenses also increase with age, making it more difficult to save for retirement. The second risk is market risk. Since retirement is getting closer, there is less time to recover from investment loss if the market performs poorly. Therefore, investment decisions should become more balanced and less risky. And lastly, pre-retire. For the pre-retired, the first concern is longevity risk. People are living longer, so retirement savings need to last for many years after retirement. Careful financial planning is important to avoid running out of money. The second challenge is inflation and withdrawal risk. Even after retirement, the cost of living continues to rise, reducing purchase power. In addition, withdraw too much money too early may cause retirement savings to be decreased faster than expected. Thank
My name is Hakim and I will presenting to you the strategy of investment, allocation, and the withdrawals. First, for the investment strategy, for the young professional at age 30, the investment strategy focus on long-term capital growth. Since there are about 30 years until retirement, a higher allocation to growth assets such as equities and unit trusts is suitable. Regular EPF contributions and annual portfolio reviews will help maximize return through compounding. For the middle age uh, at 45 years old, a balanced investment strategy is recommended because there are 15 years remaining until retirement. A diversified portfolio provides both growth and stability while reducing investment risks. Increasing retirement contribution and reviewing the portfolio regularly will help achieve retirement goals. Last but not least, for the pre-retiree at age 60, the priority shifts from wealth accumulation to preserving capital and generating stable income. Most investments should be allocated to lower risk assets such as fixed deposit and bonds, while a small portion remain in growth assets to protect against inflation and support long-term retirement needs. Next, I will explain our recommended asset allocation for the three individuals based on their age, investment horizon, and risk tolerance. Starting with the young professional aged 30, the investment strategy focuses on the long-term capital growth. Because this individual has around 30 years until retirement and has a high risk tolerance, therefore the largest allocation, which is 50 to 60%, is invested in equities to maximize the long-term returns. Another 20 to 25% is allocated to unit trusts to provide diversification while maintaining growth potential. Around 10 to 15% is invested in ESP or other fixed income investment to reduce overall portfolio risk, while 5 to 10% is kept in cash for emergency needs and liquidity. At this stage, the individual can tolerate short-term market fluctuation because there is sufficient time for investment to recover and benefit from compound growth. Moving on to the middle-aged individual, age at 45, the investment strategy become more balanced because there are only 15 years remaining until retirement, and the individual has a moderate risk tolerance. The equity allocation is reduced to 35 to 40%, while 25 to 30% is invested in unit trusts to continue generating long-term growth. Around 15 to 20% is allocated to SP or fixed income investments to provide more stability. Additionally, 10 to 15% is invested in REITs or dividend-paying stock to generate passive income, while 5 to 10% is maintained in cash for liquidity. This balanced portfolio allows the individual to continue growing retirement savings while reducing exposure to investment risk as retirement approaches. Finally, for the retired age 60, the investment objective shift from wealth accumulation to capital preservation and stable income generation. Since the individual has a low tolerance, only 0 to 10% is invested in equities to provide some protection against inflation. The largest allocation, 40 to 50%, is placed in fixed deposit and bonds because these investments provide stable returns and lower risk. Another 15 to 20% is invested in REITs or dividend-paying stocks to generate regular income, while 10 to 15% is allocated to income funds for consistent cash flow. The remaining 10 to 15% is held in cash to ensure sufficient liquidity for living expense and unexpected medical costs during retirement. Overall, this asset allocation reflects the principle that investment rates should decrease as retirement approaches. Younger individuals can afford to take greater risks because they have longer investment horizon, whereas the older individuals should focus on preserving wealth and generating stable retirement income by adjusting their asset allocation according to each life stage. The investment portfolio can better support long-term retirement goals while managing the risks associated with market fluctuation. Lastly is the withdrawal strategy. For the young professional, no retirement withdrawals are recommended before retirement. The focus is on allowing investment to grow through compounding while maintaining an emergency fund to avoid using retirement savings for unexpected expenses. For the middle-aged individual, the priority is to continue accumulating retirement savings while preparing a future withdrawal plan. A three-bucket strategy can be planned before retirement, and reducing outstanding debts will lower the amount that needs to be withdrawn during retirement. Lastly, for the retiree, the focus is on generating sustainable retirement income. A three-bucket strategy is recommended to manage short, medium, and long-term expenses. Regular withdrawal from EF are preferable to a lump sum withdrawal, while annual reviews help adjust for inflation, healthcare costs, and change in investment performance. And that's all from us. Thank you.